Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video out here at the range today, and I have brought this 300 Blackout. This is actually a Savage Axis 2, I believe, in 300 Blackout. Bass Pro has a deal with this type of camo stock. Heavier barrel, pick them up on Black Friday for pretty low deals. And the whole purpose of this video, guys, is to compare Subsonic 300 Blackout versus some Supersonic. So, whole reason behind this video is the other day I put out a video and I talked about Subsonic and saying you should not deer hunt with Subsonic ammo. And I specifically said because of the low energy. I'll show you these up here close in a second, but bunch of people came out of the woodwork to tell me I was crazy, so on and so forth, and how they take so many deer with Subsonic. So purpose of today's video is to visually display Subsonic versus Supersonic. I'm going to show you this whole setup real close, and then what I'm going to do is chronograph both of these, the subs and the supers. Then I've got some clay, and that's going to be our visual demonstration. Now the whole premise of this is pretty close range, probably in the woods, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 yards with a 300 Blackout. I said in that video that I wouldn't recommend taking 300 Blackout past 200 yards, maybe even 150 or in. And if you are to take a Supersonic 300 Blackout round, the lighter the better. So let's get right to it. First, I'm going to show you everything I'm using here. Then we're going to chronograph them. And then we're going to bring out the clay and see the splody bits between Subsonic and Supers. Check this out. Let me show you everything up close here. All right, so like I said, this is a Savage Axis in 300 Blackout. It's got a pretty heavy barrel. It is 16 inches and some change. And on the end, I have my Banish 30 gold can on there. Definitely going to be quiet, especially in the Subsonic stuff. You just about won't hear it. On top, this optic actually came with it. This is a Bushnell Banner Dusk to Dawn 3 to 9 by 40. Pretty standard. I've got some Wheeler rings on there. And now here's the real interesting part here. For the Subsonics, I'm using Hornady's Sub X rounds. Give you a good look at what that looks like. It has that red tip on there. And these are, I might as well show you the box, the 190 grainers, supposed to be going somewhere around 1,000 feet per second. That is our Subsonic example. Now the Supers, let me show you what we're working with for the Supersonics. This is the Liberty Overwatch 300 Blackout. It is a 96 grain, and it should be going somewhere around 2,500 feet per second. So you tell me, which would you rather take a deer with? The fast hollow point? Why is this not staying now? Or the slow, I guess you could kind of call that a tipped hollow point. But let's see what happens. Let me get the chronograph out. We'll verify the speeds. How close is that to 1,050? How close is that to 2,050? Oh no, 2,500, over 2,500. Woo woo! And then we'll put it on the clay and see what happens. Honestly, I'm not sure, but I think there's going to be a drastic difference on the clay. Just my guess. All right, first one through the chronograph is this Hornady Subsonic, and I'm only at about 2 or 3 yards here, so it should be pretty close to what we would see for muzzle velocity. Definitely quiet. What did we get? So real close to advertised velocity. That says 1,043 feet per second. Now let's try these faster ones. All right, now we're gonna do these 96 grain Liberty Overwatches. Same distance. Let's see what kind of speed we get. Should be a difference in the sound here, that's for sure. Oh yeah. And that's pretty close to advertised velocity too. 2,515 feet per second. So we got the speeds now. 1,043 feet per second with these babies. 2,500 some with these babies. What was that? 2,515. So now let's get out the clay blocks, see which one works best. This or this. Is it going to be about the same? Is it going to be a big difference? I don't know. But let's see what happens. Should be pretty cool. We go get the clay out here and put it out here on a target stand. All right, now I'm back at 20 yards. That's what we were talking about, you know, in the woods, eastern U.S. whitetail, 20 yards, essentially bow range. Got that piece of clay right there. See my camera on it. And dead center. See what happens to it. It'll be pretty quiet. That was pretty quiet. We made a big hole. Let's go check it out. All right, so here's the front side. I had it tilted slightly so the sun would hit the front of it the way the sun is in the sky right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, essentially same thing, same damage as a 45 ACP. So you can see the red tip there is actually right there in the shade. Probably hard for y'all to see that. There's that red tip there in the center. And I mean, it made a hole. It made a hole there. Come around this side, we had a pretty center hit. Back side's maybe slightly bigger than the front side, but yeah, you guys get the idea. That's what happens when we hit it 20 yards-ish with those Subsonic 190 grainers. Now, I'm gonna go back same distance and use those 90 some odd grainers over 2,500 feet per second. My theory is that there's gonna be a drastic difference in what happens, but that's why we do these, so we see what happens. So we'll set that off to the side so we can compare what's left with the Supersonic, see what happens. Should be pretty cool. All right, now we're gonna see what happens with the Supersonic, same distance, 20-ish yards, 20, 25, give or take a few. Been waiting all week to film this and get it done ever since I had the idea. See what happens. Yeah, it's gonna be a shade louder. Try to do my best to hit it square center again. That rained clay for 5 seconds.
That was cool.
I hope it didn't land on my truck. Yeah, big difference. That's a Supersonic. All right, guys, so that was pretty ridiculous. So I don't know how good it's gonna show in the footage, but I'm not kidding. It rained clay in every direction, behind the target, in front of the target, for a good 5 seconds. Literally. It probably through that clay, I don't know, 50 feet high or something. But let's just see what happened with the clay. So, like I said, same distance. You guys saw the slow motion. I did my best to hit center, and it appears that I did. So, get eye level with it. Essentially, pancaked it. The top half gone, and the bottom half pancaked, completely went kablooey. Now, when we have that side-by-side look, what would you rather chase a deer with? That or this? this is going to cause major shock. Major shock. That is going to cause a little bit of shock and put a hole in it, maybe. Supersonic, that's that Liberty Overwatch. Subsonic, that's that Hornady Sub X. Again, both in 300 Blackout. I can tell you right now, if I'm deer hunting and I don't want to have to track that deer, and I really don't want to lose that deer, I'm picking this every single time. Every single time. Supersonic 300 Blackout if you're using it for hunting. And this is why. All right, so I'm splicing this in here, but I had a thought to mention to you guys that I forgot. So the Subsonic 300 Blackout, it's essentially a 45 ACP. So full metal jacket 45 is a 230 grain going 900 to 1100 feet per second. That's essentially what Subsonic 300 Blackout is. 190 grain up to a 220, very close to 45 ACP, going 1000, 1100 feet per second. So is your full metal jacket 45 ACP what you would pick to deer hunt with? It's not what I would pick. I mean, it can be done, but again, if I'm deer hunting with a 45 ACP, I'm going to be picking a lighter one that's a hollow point that's going zippy and faster than the speed of sound. But just throwing that out there. Subsonic 300 Blackout is essentially 45 ACP. All right, guys, so I think I set out to show what I was hoping would show in the clay. My direction, my suggestion remains the same. I do not suggest that you ever hunt with subsonic ammunition, especially on big game. If you want to go after some rabbits and some squirrels with subsonic 22s, more power to you. But for big game, medium-sized game, I will never tell you that it's a good reason to go after them. Got an ant biting me with subsonic ammunition. Unless you have some super reason to hunt with it, like you need to be real quiet and you have a can, there's no reason for it. You guys heard it there in the tape, hopefully. With this can on there, again, that's my Banish 30 Gold. Even the Supersonic was pretty quiet. 100% hearing safe. But let me pop up a visual side-by-side split screen of both of these getting hit at the same time, and that'll give us a good side-by-side comparison. Check it out. Real quick reminder, guys, if you haven't checked out the new site, definitely go check it out. Real simple, WHOTEEWHO.com. There's all types of bonus content on there. There's a merch store. We got stuff like these True Timber WHOTEEWHO hats, coming out with new stuff out there all the time. Even some new blaze orange hats for hunting season. I'm excited about that. The blog, all kind of extra articles that I'm writing go up on the website. And if you are subscribed to the WHOTEEWHO newsletter, you're automatically entered for a bunch of giveaways we've already given away. Vortex optics, shirts, hats, and other stuff I can't even remember. If anything, definitely make sure you're signed up for the newsletter over on WHOTEEWHO.com. Let's get back to the video. So, pretty cool. But hey, appreciate y'all watching. Again, comparing the Liberty Overwatch 300 Blackout against the Hornady Subsonic. I don't see any reason for hunting with the Subsonic. I think these Sub X's are more at the range, real quiet. When you have the option of supers, I will pick supers every time for hunting. Now, if I'm at the range, hey, I'm going Subsonic all day. But yeah, that's just me. Appreciate y'all watching. I absolutely love this rig. Bolt action, Savage Axis in the 300 Blackout. I dig it. Appreciate y'all watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys on the next one. Hoo-doo.
it's 10 mil, 50 cal. It don't make a difference, man. We like